Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about UFC 313. Alex Bejeda against Magomed, the Russian ankle biter, Ankalev. Right? That's the main event. There's a bunch of fights on this card, and I provide predictions for all of them. Now, I know a lot of guys give out predictions for free on YouTube. They're not me, bro. Like, they're just not as accurate as I am. They're not doing what I'm doing. Talk to the MVPs. They'll let you know. So what I do is I give away the main event for free, and I give away the first fight of the night for free. That's all I give away. If you want all the other picks, you got to go to Patreon. Join the channel, become a member. Shout out to Rico Knows and all his MVPs. We break down every single fight. We provide results, analysis, give you props, bets, all that stuff. Been doing it for years. Shout out to our over 6,000 members for a reason. Okay? Over 6,000 members. We also have it on YouTube as well. Just hit the membership tab, hit join, and you'll get all the same videos. You'll get different props and parlays to make, and I'll talk to you through it all. Okay? But for this particular fight, let's just go down the fight card. You know all the other fights. That doesn't matter. We're going to just talk about this one right here. Djorden Santos versus Ozzie Diaz. Okay? And when I break this down, I got to start with Ozzie Diaz first. Ozzie Diaz is one of these guys who trains, and they all know his name, and they all brag about him. But when you watch him, it's just like, what are we doing? Laura Sanko's famous for this shit. She sits around and talks about a guy that she worked out in the gym with him, and she believes in him and all this shit. It'll happen with like a British fighter. Biz Bing will be like, this guy's a prospect. We've been watching him for a while. And the reality is they just rolled with him in the gym one day, and they're friends. And they're advocating for this particular fighter because they're friends. But when you look at Ozzie Diaz, he's 6'4", 185 pounds. Now, he's the underdog in this fight because he has absolutely no chin. Glass jaw all day. Can't believe in Ozzie Diaz even in the slightest. Okay? 6'4", 185 is what they list him at. But in some of these fights, he's fighting at 205. Because cutting down to 185 is a daunting task for this man. And when he gets down to 185, he's drained. And he can't take a strike. Now, you might look at him, and when they talk about him, they're going to say he's the former LFA champ. Let's talk about who did he beat for the LFA title. He beat this guy, Bruno Assis. Let me tell you about Bruno. Bruno is a jiu-jitsu nerd. American top team, jiu-jitsu nerd. He wins all his fights by submission, but he's been knocked out in 6 of his 20 fights. 6 of his 20 fights. This dude's got a knockout button waiting for you to press it. Okay? And before that, when Diaz was winning, before that, it was against Moses Murrieta. Murrieta's 2 years older than him. And by the way, he's been knocked out in the third of his fights. He's fought 15 times, knocked out 5 times. So you're talking about guys that are susceptible to knockouts, and you go out there and get the knockout. Shout out to Ozzie Diaz. So he's got this label as like this knockout artist, this crafty guy. But let's just talk about it what it is, okay? He's not a UFC caliber fighter. He's not. He's had a chance to be in the UFC, and yes, fighting Joe Pyfer's tough. That's a brute of a man, and he knocked you out. But I watched you get knocked out in November, bro, with a jab. A jab knocked out Ozzie Diaz in November. Now, Zhang Mingyang is a phenomenal striker, a mean guy, but it was a jab. We can't do this shit. And if you look at the wins he did to get back in the UFC, that Lewis win isn't shit. Bevon Lewis, not it. And that Chuck Campbell fight, you can go watch it on YouTube right now. It's one round. He wins with 1 second left. If he didn't win with that 1 second left, he loses the fight. Because he lost that entire first round. Getting ragdolled. He's getting buckled, bro. Buckled and punched and beat to hell. He does one flying knee. And it connects, and then there's a scramble, and next thing you know, Chuck Campbell ain't it no more. And by the way, that fight was at 205. But he literally lost every second of that fight until he didn't. Okay, so if you think Ozzie Diaz is winning this fight, he's 6'4". Does he utilize his strikes well? Sure. Does he maintain his distance? Not necessarily. He likes to crash in when he's throwing his strikes, which reduces the distance. So then at that point, who cares what your reach is? Like, your reach doesn't matter anymore. He has a high guard, and when you have this high guard, he doesn't protect against an uppercut at all. By the way, one of Djorden Santos' strikes that he throws in his repertoire, one of his tools in his toolbox, is an uppercut. Okay? So Ozzie Diaz, for me, is just very lackluster. I can't get behind it. He's not going to win by submission. I can tell you that right now. He's a purple belt in America. And he's fighting a brown belt from Brazil. There is no advantage on the ground here. There is no advantage in grappling. Anybody who tells you he's going to drown Santos with grappling or cardio, if you hear any of that shit anywhere on the internet, those guys don't know what they're talking about. This man right here, Ozzie Diaz, his only chance to win is by knockout. And I don't necessarily see him doing it because he can't be in the fire, bro. He cannot be in striking range. He's not built for it. He's not equipped for it. You ever gone out paintballing? Go paintballing and then show up without a mask. I dare you to go paintballing without a mask. That's Ozzie Diaz. He's going MMA fighting without a jawline, bro. Without a chin. Might as well call him Head and Shoulders. Homie's got no chin. Maybe that was for no neck. My bad. I don't believe in Ozzie Diaz. On the flip side, Djorden Santos, 10-1. 3 knockouts, 4 wins by submission. I think he's good all the way around. Now, when we reviewed him and analyzed him for the Dana White Contender Series, he had 2 fights online. He didn't look very good, so everybody was fading him. It was easy to say that he wasn't going to win the fight. He was fighting Will Curry. Will Curry was a phenomenal prospect, if you will, from England. Will Curry's a rich kid, and he was a former soccer player, and he does amazing kicks. Will Curry's known for his grappling. And he went out there, and it looked like a grown man beating up on a pretty athlete. Like, you got all those muscles? You're an athlete? You're in a fight with a real dog. And this man, Djorden Santos, Vegas hates him. I wrote it down. Djorden Santos was a plus 340 underdog. Yeah, that's right. Curry was a minus 440 favorite. And Djorden Santos won every single round, 30-27. So when the books opened this time around, they still didn't like Djorden Santos. I believe he was an underdog. I want to say he was. And now he's the favorite because money talks. People understand. You cannot believe in Ozzie Diaz. So now he's a minus 200 favorite. Rico, do we still like him? Yeah, we like him. I just don't see how he loses. Can he get knocked out? Anybody can get knocked out. But he's got a chin. He's never been knocked out in his life. You're gonna be betting on something that's never happened. Number one, if you want to take Ozzie Diaz, that means you think Ozzie Diaz is knocking this man out. That's never happened. Number two, if you take Ozzie Diaz, you think Ozzie Diaz is winning by decision. That's something Ozzie Diaz has never done. He's never won by decision. He's never made it to the third round. He's not built for the third round. That chin ain't built for the third round. Santos will go to the third round. He'll go to the fifth round. Now, the thing about this is Santos on the regional scene, you can't be going to split decision with some of these guys. What does that look like? Split decision against a guy who's 1-1. Now, I'm sure this guy Miguel here has fought a lot more than just twice. ESPN doesn't always have the right tap record or the right fight records. I'm sure he's fought more than just once. You just got to go to Tapology and look him up. But the point I'm trying to make is when I see Djorden Santos, this, by the way, trains with the Bonfim brothers, so we know he's in a good gym. And when you see his regional fights, they're from so many years ago that you can't really use those to judge how good of a fighter he is. You can't. You can't even look at these fights because it looks like he's grown and become a better fighter since 2021-20. He took 2 years off to get his shit together to show up and fight, and he's still only 27. And then you got this guy, Ozzie Diaz, he's 34. We know who he is. He's not getting any better. You're 34, you're not getting any better. Ask my ex-wife, bro. I'm not any better than I was when I was 27. You know what I'm saying? 27, you're around the prime right now. This guy ain't it, bro. I'm not ever getting on Ozzie Diaz. If you bet on Ozzie Diaz, you don't respect your coin. You don't respect your dollar. Djorden Santos is a better dog at striking. He wants to be in the pocket. Now, I understand he fought Will Curry who couldn't strike. So now you're going to fight a guy who can actually hit back. But if we're fighting at 185, oh boy, Ozzie Diaz got no chin down there. He might be more durable at 205, but I'm seeing him have no chin anywhere. I think Santos is a dog. I think he scraps, and he'll knock you down, and he'll just let you get back up because he knows he's going to win on his feet. But I think he has an advantage everywhere. So let's be careful. It's a minus 205. I understand. But I'm going to pull up the chart now. I'm going to show you how we get down. If you don't know the colors, well, let's talk about the color scheme. If I make it green, it's a lock. If I make it green, it's a lock. That's all that means. That's all that means. Green means a lock. And if I make it green, I'm right 72% of the time. Now, lifetime, we're over 80% on locks. And when I say lifetime, I'm referring to all of last year. We're at 83% last year. when I made it green. I don't give a shit what the odds say, what Vegas says. I'm just letting you know, when I turn it green, I'm right. Okay? Now, I think Santos is going to win by TKO or decision. That's a double chance. I don't know if you have that option right now on the sports book. Let's go to more wages and see if it comes up. Usually it'll come up on Saturday morning. Oh, we got it here. Yeah. Double chance this. Double chance. Boom. Santos, TKO and points. Minus 110. I like that a lot. I love the odds the way they are. I would bet them straight across. Now, this is an early prelim fight. You don't want to make one parlay and miss it. Now, I'm going to have other locks. Like I'm going to tell you right now, Roofy's my guy, right? And you see it's 500. I know. Okay, there's going to be other locks in here that we parlay with Santos. And if that's your only bet for the night and you lose on the first fight of the night, you ruin your whole night. Thanks for being here. By the way, if you want to watch these fights with my commentary, my live bet analysis, everything I do for breaking down the fighters, please get to Patreon, become an MVP, go to YouTube, become an MVP, then connect either Patreon or YouTube to the Discord server. You get on the stage, first 300 people every night get to join me, and we have a good time. We've been doing this for a long time. We have thousands of MVPs. You can show up to the stage and have a good time with us during the pay-per-view. Just letting you know. If you feel like you're betting all alone, you're not. We got you. But in this particular fight, I'm going to say Santos is a lock because I see him winning every way possible. I do understand this is his UFC debut. It's on a pay-per-view card. There might be jitters. And you just had a Bomb Fiend brother go 50-50 on the last two cards, right? They both fought the same night. So that gym is kind of reeling, and they want to get it right. And Ozzie Diaz, well, he thinks he's a better fighter than what he's shown. And he possibly is. But for me, to see Santos go out there as a major underdog and just outdog a guy in Curry, if there's anything Ozzie Diaz is not, he's not a dog. He doesn't outdog anybody. He don't stick around for the third round. He's either tapping out or he's tapping somebody else out, right? And when I say tapping out, I'm talking about sleeping, taking a nap. So I like Santos by TKO. And by the way, you see that it's black. That black means it's a lean, right? Green is a lock. Black is a lean, purple is a value bet. In this particular fight, it's a lean. Why is that important to you? Lean props are at 62.96%. So if I'm hitting a lean prop right now that's a minus 110 bet, I hit that at 62%. That's better than against the spread that we are doing in college football. That means you got to take that bet. That's what that means. You don't parlay it. You take it across for one unit. I'm trying to explain to you guys how we're successful around here. Rico, how do MVPs make money? Because you're listening to what I'm telling you. It's math, bro. The probability is there. Now, whether it hits or not, it doesn't even matter. You have to take it. Because we're right 62% of the time on a prop bet that I tell you is a lean. It's all about the color scheme. If I make it this color, you have to bet it. That's how you become successful. Ask an MVP. Some MVPs are better than others. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Get to the platform. Become an MVP. We break down every single fight. I'm telling you right now, I'm taking Santos over Diaz. It's a lock. Get at me. Peace.